Hello and welcome to this week's Leading Lives podcast. You know when you form an impression of someone without ever meeting them? Well, I've formed one from afar about today's guest. A whirlwind of energy and positivity, very kind-hearted and yet probably quite feisty too. Let's see if I'm right. It's founder of the Street Agency and fellow podcast host, Katie Street. Katie, welcome.
What an introduction. I love it already.
Well, you know, it's great having you in here. I mean, I know we've tried a few times over the summer and we finally got there, and it just shows what a busy person you are.
Oh, do you know what? I'm probably sponsored by Duracell or something. But I say yes to too much, but I definitely think that's also a very good lesson in life is do say yes, because you never know what opportunities come your way if you do.
Well, we wouldn't have met otherwise, would we?
No, exactly.
So that's it. You had quite a tough start in life, didn't you? Tell me about that and your childhood.
Way back when.
It's not that long ago.
No, oh yeah. I mean, it feels like it was. So, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I did and I didn't. The start of my childhood was definitely pretty normal, I would say. Very, probably upper middle class family. My dad owns a local museum at the time, the Christchurch Tricycle Museum.
So you were from down here?
From the area, yeah. So Dad was quite well known locally. We had a lovely big house, we had a bloody apple orchard and a stream running through it. And,
lovely.
Definitely, had a very privileged, I would say, upbringing. But then short story, my mum left my dad. I think Dad was having some financial struggles. He was also a solicitor. Mum had an affair, left my dad, met quite a controlling man. I don't even think she would even realise that still today. But to the point that she got very ill, had not just a nervous breakdown, but like a psychotic breakdown. Okay. So amidst all this time, very dramatic. Mum had an affair. She left my dad. They got back together. She left again. She, for some reason, told me about a lot of the goings on. So I was sort of aware, and I was only 11 or 12 when this all started.
I was going to ask you about what age you were.
Yeah, so it was, she put a lot on me, which she probably she definitely shouldn't have done. And then eventually she left him for this other guy fully, and he wasn't that nice, really. Right. Quite controlling, would appear to be nice. Owned a few local businesses, so I have to be careful what I say. Right, okay, and then
you're amongst friends here, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead now, so it's fine. And then she basically had a psychotic breakdown. So she went actually away to Rome. I think it was it might have even been a honeymoon. Like, very odd things happened. Like, she got married and didn't tell us. So I got home from school one day and was looking through birthday cards for my stepdad, and one of them was like, congratulations on your wedding. And I was like, Mum, have you got married?
Wow.
And so they'd got married, hadn't told us. So this was the kind of odd things that were happening. And she was like, oh yeah, we didn't want to tell you just in case you told your dad or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I know, to get actually fully married was a bit of an odd one. And then she had a psychotic breakdown. She didn't know who I was. And then from then on, alcoholism, bipolar. Took a long, she wasn't diagnosed with bipolar till about 15 years ago. And I was in my late 20s then.
So were you caring for her as well, or?
Not really. Just I just struggled to live at home after the dynamic at home in my teenage years was tough. Like, I just hated it, and there was lots of weird things happening at home, and just got out as early as I could. So I actually moved just down the road here in Ashley Cross. There was a place called Hyped, and I had a friend who lived there already, and my mum didn't really want me to go again. Still, very middle class, lived in a lovely house in Whitecliff, not far from here.
Yeah.
On the outside looking, got dropped off to school every day in a Mercedes. From the outside looking in, it looked very lovely, but the realities of being at home were not that lovely.
Right.
And so I moved out of home at 16 and moved into a hostel. So HIPED, what stood for Homeless Young People in Dorset.
How did you cope with that change from being relatively affluent, if an unstable background, but then suddenly amongst the have-nots, if you like?
Yeah. Do you know what? It was quite an insular... So I had one of my good friends. She's how I found out about it. She'd had a troublesome, in a different way, like her parents were drug addicts and had no money and lived in a council house, very different to me, and we'd met through like mutual friends. So yes, very equally troubling home lives, but just different basically. So me and her just hung out really. Do you know what? I also have I think I've blocked out a lot of stuff that happened to me when I was younger, because
I should get some tissues just in case.
I just don't remember stuff. Well, don't worry, because I very rarely cry actually, but I just don't remember stuff. But I remember, where there were sheds, washing systems. I had my own little kitchen. I think we must have had shared bathrooms maybe, but I had my friend next door, so I used to hang out with her a lot. We were going out. I got myself a good job. I think I was just focused on survival, really.
You worked for Exchange and Mart, didn't you?
I did. So so that was probably my career defining and probably my first job. So I didn't know what I wanted to do when I finished school. I think my career's advice was to be a TV presenter or a weather girl. Which I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore, weather person. Which actually, looking back, if life had been different and I'd had the opportunity to go to media college or study something around, be media trained, I would have loved that. I absolutely love, recording, podcast, presenting. That's definitely me. But I didn't have the opportunity to do that, so I didn't know what to do. So I ended up actually studying business at Bournemouth and Poole College, and getting rather than doing A levels, I did a GMVQ. So just got a GMVQ in business, and then was working in a solicitors doing that. Sort of 3 I can't remember what the days were. You did a day at college and then 3 days at work, or vice versa. And then when I finished that, I still didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had some inheritance coming in when I was 18, and I was like, I could buy myself a property here. And my nan, my mum's mum, was like, you can never do wrong, bricks and mortar, it'll give you some security. So
she's absolutely right, isn't she?
Yeah, and I made a lot of money on that first flat. So I bought a flat at 18, but in order to do that, I knew I needed to get a job. So when I was 17, I got a job at Exchange and Mart, working in advertising sales, and absolutely loved it. Did really well, was one of the top performing salespeople there, and absolutely loved it.
I did
great.
My homework. You did very well, actually, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved it there. So I did a lot of first. I think I was one of the first field sales reps that they sent out in cars, going to sell to motor traders. When I was 18, 19, I was coaching people on how to do telesales and running some of the training programs in the evenings. I did a lot. In fact, won loads of they used to do competitions. So I would won a TV, won a DVD. DVD player's not a thing now, but all the things in my flat, I won. A lot of them I won through work from doing well. So each month they had a best salesperson gets a free TV or whatever. So it was great. I loved it. I loved the competitive nature. I loved everything about it.
I'm going to hurry you along because I've got about 53 pages of questions here. London came calling.
Yes, London did come calling. So I worked for another magazine after that, and they were launching guides across the UK, and I think I always knew I wanted to go to London. I found as lovely as it is living here, the opportunities for me in London were bigger, and I honestly, I'll probably end up moving back there next year when my daughter goes to university. Mm-hmm. For me, I just feel alive when I'm there. Mm-hmm. There's so much more opportunity. I think it's great, the people that I've met, long-lasting friends, the job and work opportunities that I've been able to forge there. It's that,
constant partying.
Yeah, and constant partying. Yeah, there was a lot of that. But yeah, so when I moved to London, I got a job at FHM, EMAP, and worked across a lot of the mail titles. So Empire, FHM, Zoo, or was it Nuts? Can't remember which one we had now. But it was great fun selling.
I wouldn't know what they are.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're allowed to publish anymore, the stuff that we used to put out. But
I never bought one once. Never.
No,
never.
Of course not, Chris. Of course not.
You got married and the drama continued a little bit, didn't
it? Yes. So, I met someone who was actually from here, but we kind of, moved our relationship on quite quickly. I got pregnant very quickly, probably after about a year of us being together.
Right.
So I was 24, 25, and then had a baby, moved back here, and then, he got arrested and ended up being in jail for the first nearly 6 years of my daughter's life. So that was fun.
Yes, I want to focus on that just for a couple of minutes, but maybe trying to take it a little bit away from the obvious kind of questioning. So suddenly the police came knocking at your door. Just outline quickly what happened.
Yeah, so I guess, God, I'm not, I guess from my younger years, quite used to drama.
Yeah.
But this was pretty up there. So the police came knocking. Within a few minutes, my house was all labelled up, room 1, room 2, room 3. I was giving my daughter shreddies. And a short story is he was arrested and then never came back home.
Mm-hmm.
I was also arrested, questioned, put on bail. Was worried myself that I wouldn't see my daughter again. It was one of the most traumatic and scary, because I was quite young, really.
Yeah.
And probably had quite PTSD, after it for quite a long time.
I can't imagine you had that much dealing with the police.
No, the police were really not nice to me, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Assumed you were guilty, I imagine.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Like all the other wives in the conspiracy had been laundering money. I, thank God, hadn't been, because had I been, I would have been in prison.
Yeah.
And it's you're guilty until proven innocent, not the other way around, sadly. So it was horrible. It was very stressful.
So I'm going to try and develop that, but take it away from the obvious. How did you deal with the shock that landed upon you?
Yeah, oh God, do you know what? I was very anxious. I have to be really honest. Like, I probably didn't cope that well in the first week or two. Probably was. I remember saying to one of my best friends, like, "Is it lunchtime yet? Can I have a glass of wine?" She was like, "Yeah, come on, let's." Because I did feel that bad, but very quickly, I just knew that I had a house to pay for, I had a daughter to pay for. They'd put blocks on all my bank accounts because it was all to do with money. So it was, it was either, do or die, basically. And I did. I went back and I'd lost my job as part of this whole thing that had happened with the police. So got a job, got students in, did whatever I needed to do. So I think I've got quite a, I don't know, not
survival
go-getter,
instinct,
but you're either going to do nothing or you're going to do something.
Yeah, it would have been easy for you ultimately to have taken a life of benefits.
Yeah, 100%.
And not made the most of your skill sets. And that's one of the things that attracted me to asking you to become a guest, because I don't know if I used it in the intro, but driven, I think, is a word that I would use for you.
Yes, and sometimes to my detriment, because I am incredibly driven and incredibly competitive with myself, thinking that I always need to do more. I must do this, and so I give myself quite a hard time if I'm not doing the next, what's next? Come on, Katie, you must keep going. You've got to do something more. You're not doing enough. So I definitely do give myself a hard time on that. But it's part of probably most entrepreneurs. We don't talk about that enough, that ability to stand back up when, things are chucked at you. It's not everyone's like that. And in order, I think, to be successful in business, you've got to be able to continue to get back up. This
is true. So people that know me well know that for a time in my life I was technically homeless, and it is that getting back up. And it's the old saying, isn't it? If it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
It does. And do you know what? All of these, I'm not sure how much I learned from being arrested, but, all of these things you learn from. Life
absolutely
throws things at you and there's always a lesson. And I personally find I learn a lot more when the chips are down and things are tough than I do if it's easy.
Totally agree with you. Did people judge you at that point in your life?
Do you know what? I thought people judged me more than they did. I think in my head, I was so worried. Like, I remember my daughter starting school and, somehow I managed to, with the help of Lola's dad, actually, and his family, we managed to get Lola to a private school. And, I remember that first day or the first few weeks, them thinking, right, they'll know that, her dad's never around. He's never doing pickup. They're going to look down on me if I tell them. And I remember there was one party I was at and we were sat down, and one of the other mums, whose actually husband had partner had committed suicide.
Right.
We were talking and sort of like, oh, where's your daughter's dad, or where's your daughter's dad? And everyone was so supportive of me. So all the worries that I'd had in my head, thinking, oh my gosh, people are not going to like me. They're going to think I'm bad. They're going to not like, the situation or judge me. Actually, they didn't. And I think a lot of it was in my head. I thought that people would. I didn't tell people for a long time, but actually, looking back now, I wish I'd been more honest earlier.
That's a really interesting comment too, because I was going to ask you how you look back on that period of your life. Obviously, you've learnt from it, but what would you change apart from what you've just said if you were dealing with that situation again?
Probably not much.
Yeah.
I think I wish I wasn't as anxious at points as I had been. But I don't really regret any of the decisions that I made, apart from maybe, worrying too much about what other people thought and living in that anxiety a bit too much. I think if I was to do it again, obviously with my learnt experience, I would go, do you know what, Katie, it's going to be okay. And people will judge you for you, not on the things that have happened to you.
I think a lot of people listening or watching this can learn from you here, Katie, because, you can deal with it if you really set your mind to it.
Yeah.
And that's the key learning point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all of us can do that, and all of us are strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
We just need to believe it.
Yeah, anything is possible. I think if you think something isn't going to happen, the likelihood is it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If you think something can happen, and I've definitely always had a glass half full, sorry, not half glass full, a glass half full approach to life is that, if I think positively and think I can do this is going to happen, it tends to happen. If you think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to do that, of course you're never going to be able to do it. You've already told yourself you can't do it. So how are you going to do it? You're not.
Yeah. I think my intro is becoming more and more clear that I was right, and I take no credit. I just think it's very obvious.
Yeah. And I think that's, I feel very lucky. I haven't, touch wood, ever suffered with depression or anything like that. Yes, anxiety, but I tend to be happy within myself most of the time about who I am and how I show up, and I have, whether this is cocky or not, confidence in myself because of the bad things that I've been through. I know it's never going to be that bad. What's the worst that could happen? Yes, I could lose everything tomorrow. Yes, I do take some risks with my business sometimes that maybe other people wouldn't take. In my head, they're educated risks, but maybe not always. And, I think in order to run a business, you've got to have that confidence in yourself. And as people, to exist in the world, you've got to believe in yourself.
I agree. I've also got a little note down here about you. Open book.
Yes.
And I think that's true as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. And again, I'm happy to, sometimes other people, like my ex-husband, maybe not that happy about me sharing stuff. But I think it's important. It's for me.
There.
Yeah.
It's in the public domain
Exactly.
anyway.
I guess, for him, 100% doesn't want it thrown in his face, moved on with his life, and that's fun. That's great. But I think for me, the things that have happened to me have shaped who I am when I was a child. The good, the bad, the ugly, the decisions that we all make shape us, and I'm very open about that when I talk to people.
Something that I'm actually quite pleased to see, that you've not been judgmental about anybody along the way here.
No.
And that's a good, keep it like that. I think it's very wise.
Try not to. I think I always try to, again, maybe not always a good thing, but see the good in people. I don't think anyone is inherently bad, although I'm sure there are lots of very bad people out there, but usually there's something that's happened to them to make them that way.
What's your definition of success in life?
Oh, bloody hell, Chris, that's a big question.
It is. 2 sentences, because otherwise you'll talk for the next 20 minutes on it.
I know, I will. I think beyond anything, happiness. If you're happy and you want to wake up in the morning and you want to go and do the thing that you're doing, that to me defines success.
Do you have much of an ego?
Yeah, of course I do. We all have an ego. I think, I
genuinely thought you were going to say no.
No, I do have an ego. I definitely have an ego. Because I think we all have an ego. I think it's how much you inflate your ego. Because we can't deny, there are narcissists in the world who have very, it's their way or the highway. I'm not like that. But of course I have an ego. Of course I care about how I appear, how I come across. But I'm hopefully quite honest and open and true with that at the same time. I'm not here just for me to win in life. I want to help other people and for them to win too.
Are you a diva?
Do you know? Oh, I don't know. Am I a diva? I think I was much worse when I was younger. I'm getting better.
Really?
I'm getting less diva as I get older.
What changed that then? Maturity?
No, yeah, I think maybe just understanding the world and being a bit more empathetic, maybe.
So what frustrates you most in life today?
People that say no. I don't like sort of down energy people that say no. I like to be around people that have an up energy, and I think I don't like pessimists. I don't like people that you go to and their instant reaction is no, can't do it. I like people to go, do you know what, that's going to be really tough, but we'll get there.
That's a very good outlook on life as well, and that has been my outlook in my business life. So it must be doing something right, I suppose.
Yeah.
You've kind of answered this already, but what kind of people are you most likely to get along with?
Oh, who do I get on with? I mean, I would like to say that I get on with most people, but I get, people that are probably similar to me. I think like attracts like, doesn't it,
Yeah, it
in
does.
life?
Yeah.
Like, you can't avoid that. So it tends to be like-minded people that have a similar kind of, positive outlook on life.
Yeah. Somebody said to me last week, when I said that you were coming in and that I'd never met you, they said, you're going to love Katie and Katie's going to love you. We'll see at the end of that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the street agency.
Yes.
You set that up, 2019 was it?
It was. Well done. Chris does his
Yeah.
research.
And
I like this.
That's not written down either. That's from memory.
Well done.
Yeah. Why did you start it?
Why did I start my own business? Well, God, loads of I think there were lots of different reasons that compounded over time to make me want to do it. One, didn't like my bosses telling me no, or not being able to do all the things that I thought would be better and no one would let me do it. So yeah, too many shackles. That was definitely one thing. Two, thought I would have more time and be less stressed. Obviously, realised that was quite wrong.
You should have come to see me. I would have put you straight.
Yeah. And I mean, in some ways I am, because I don't think my attitude to work has changed. But yeah, those were two kind of big reasons. And also, this definitely hasn't happened, and my daughter will tell you not, is more flexibility, which I guess I do have. I do have more flexibility in terms of being able to take her to school, pick up from school, because I just couldn't do that when I was working full time for other people. I was never picking Lola up from school. I was never the mum that was there on time. There was always someone taking her home, or she was in after school club and I was picking her up at 6:30 or whatever. So that and I have been able to do that better, but I'm also naughty because I would do work too hard, and therefore I still don't do as much as I thought I was going to be able to do.
But you're working hard and sensibly. It's not just hard, is it?
Yes, no, exactly. And actually, I love my work. I do a very fun job. Like, running my business has given me, I get to travel all over the world running events. I get to, do public speaking, which I absolutely love. I get to, meet amazing, inspirational people and interview them on my podcast. Like, it's a job that I absolutely love, which is why I do work so much, because it doesn't always feel like work. It feels fun.
I totally agree with you. When I set this up, I wanted to do something that, first and foremost, I got up in the mornings and looked forward to doing it, rather than my previous career of banking, where I've got to go to the office again.
It's all for the wedge and the money, which is a very different, and that makes some people really happy and they will be happy doing it, but it's not for me.
No, not me. So what exactly does the street agency do? Because you're not a conventional agency, are you?
We're not.
I don't really understand it.
It's a dark art. Yeah, it's a dark art. Well, effectively, I'll explain it in a very clear and concise way. We work for tech companies to help them connect with their future customers. So we run campaigns to their prospects. So for instance, really good example, Shopify, who most of your listeners will probably know who they are. Mm-hmm. Shopify, we help them run events and content campaigns to connect them with, I don't know, the head of digital from Dr. Martens, who might want to move their website onto Shopify. We do it mainly for the bigger enterprise level businesses. So, not for smaller Shopify contracts. It would be, for instance, Shopify for us, they want to speak to CTOs at Burberry and a lot of the
Right.
big brands. So we help them put on events and run content campaigns to connect them with those people. That's in layman's easy terms. Hopefully it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, I think so. Biggest success so far in, what is it, 6 years now?
Biggest success so far, staying alive for 6 years.
Brilliant answer. Brilliant.
Just still being here, because
Yeah.
it's been tough. Year one, we hit COVID, and I
Yeah.
was like, bugger, the business is going to fail.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We actually had our biggest year of growth, 3x growth. So I think just being here, past year or two has also been really tough. The fact that we're still here and I haven't had to fold and I've done it all on my own, no other investors, I'm proud of that.
That's a tough thing, isn't it? Because I'm the only boss, if you
Yeah.
like, and it's so tough, because who do you turn to when you're sort of lying awake at night thinking, what do I do about this problem?
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult, isn't
It
it?
is, and I don't have a partner either. So and I've been single for 3 years now. So it is tough, but I've got fantastic friends. And my daughter's actually probably learnt a lot about running a business at the grand old age of 17, because I talk to her about stuff. It's tough. It is really, really tough. But I've got a thick shell, and I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah. How do you ensure that you keep your clients, the ones that you want to keep, I might add?
Yes, yeah. How do we? Yeah, exactly. If I want to keep them, I think it's my whole business is built on people. So our kind of strapline is people powered marketing. It's all about human centered, because people want to buy from other people. They don't want to buy from faceless marketing teams. So actually the same values that we push outwardly apply inwardly with my team and my clients. Is just be human, be open, be honest, be real. Don't hide things. If we make a mistake or if we do something wrong, or open communication and showing up regularly, giving. I think a lot of the time agencies and even I'm always saying this to the staff, push back. If we don't agree with something, I'll be very honest, but deliver it in hopefully a very nice human way, that we think the client's making a mistake or doing something wrong. So I think open, honest communication, absolutely key to everything.
2 points from that. First of all, not enough people are prepared to admit when they make a mistake.
Yes.
I've always driven into my team, if we get something wrong, we got it wrong, let's put it right.
Yeah.
And not try and fudge around the issue.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of media training for people, so I'm going to media train you one day,
Yes.
Katie, I think. And one of the things that is common in media training is they say, "I'll never admit to mistakes, skirt around it." I think that's totally wrong. And I think be brave, be out there and say, we'll put it right.
Yeah. I think
That's the first thing. There was something else, but because I'm old, you see, Katie, I forgot what it was going to be. So it'll come back to me.
It'll come back.
But that's what happens when you get to my age. What makes you stand out from your competitors?
I think it probably is that human edge, and that people, I'm very open and kind of clear and concise with who I am in all my communication online. So people feel like they know and trust us before, and me specifically, before they get to work with us. So I think that's it really. It's that humanity. And I think as AI and technology becomes ever more present, that's going to become even more important when people are looking for products, partners, services that they want to work with, picking the people that they believe they can trust.
Yeah, you are quite a big user of AI and ChatGPT, aren't you?
Yeah.
And it scares me, I have to be honest. I don't fully embrace it. I don't fully understand it. I see it's going to decimate a lot of people's industries.
It is.
Today, you might not have seen this actually, but today the BBC actually released information that they're going to be using AI-generated reports for football teams.
Wow.
And so a lot of reporters, they'll still write the reports, but these are things on BBC Sounds are going to be AI generated, which is quite scary, isn't it? But you're embracing it.
I am embracing it. I think you've got to be careful how you use it. A lot of people I see using it incorrectly, and because I use it a lot, I can see the people that are using it to cut corners. And I think if you use it to create your ideas and create who you are, it's just a robot. If you use it in the right way to train on repetitive tasks, teach it how you say and do things, that's when it's smart. It has to be authentic to you, and you have to use it in the right way. I think there's lots of people using it in the wrong way to just come up with ideas because they haven't got the ideas. And that, to me, that's not the right way to use it.
Something we talked about just before we came into the studio in here, when we first met, was when your business grows, it's losing that contact with clients. And I told you about what happened with mine. How are you dealing with that as your business grows?
Not well. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because no one can do the things or know what I know because I am the founder.
Yeah.
And as your business grows, we're just under £1 million turnover now. It is hard for me. I can't be on everything. I just physically can't do it.
But you're not naturally a person who delegates.
No, I'm not. I prefer to sometimes do it myself, which is also bad. So I don't know the answers. I do actually think AI will be able to help us with that, because I think there are repetitive tasks and things that I do that AI can do for me in terms of contract writing or drafting a email response or something. I can talk to AI, it can draft it for me, and then I can send it. There are things, so AI is helping me save time on things that I don't really need to be spending time on, that are just repetitive tasks, that now I can therefore use that time to spend more time with clients or do the things where I can truly add value in terms of strategy, my thinking, my brain, and also teaching AI to help me, to help others do that as well. Like, this is how I do something, teach the AI how to do it, and then the team can map into that. They can check it with me. It means that it's got my process layered into it. So it is definitely helping us.
I found it really hard to go away on holiday. And if I did go, I found it hard to then switch off my phone.
Yes.
And I failed miserably in that.
Yeah.
But what I did do, and I don't know if you do this, was I decided that I had to be realistic with myself. I knew that I couldn't delegate fully. So I made it that an hour a day, straight after breakfast or before breakfast, I would take phone calls from my team and make myself available. And then the rest of the day, unless I'd leave my phone on, but if it was really, really urgent, call me. But otherwise, leave it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was about as far as I could go.
You've got to get strict. Yeah, you've got to get strict with yourself. I think that's really important. Set
but it is
some rules.
tough, isn't it?
It is. Boundaries are not always kept, sadly.
What about client meetings? Some agencies say, we want to see you every 2 weeks. Doesn't matter why, we just want to see you. What's your view on that?
Important. I know, and actually we've had one of my senior leadership team. She ran her own agency. She came in and she was like, "Why are you having weekly calls with all your clients?" But for me, that's really important. It's something that I don't want to give up, because I think that the foundations of our relationship and the understanding, and sometimes we'll jump onto those calls and it will be 5-10 minutes and off we go. We don't need to talk. But most of the time, I think for me, that is actually really important, because we're able to discuss, communicate, understand, where we are in projects, what's happening. No one's going, what's going on, and feels out of the loop. And I think that's actually, as time consuming as it is, we don't have we've got lots of big clients, not lots of small clients. So if we had 50 clients, that might be hard. But we don't, we've got, 10 big clients that spend 100 odd grand each or whatever, there or thereabouts. So it's manageable. I couldn't do that if we were a different type of business. Our contracts are big, so it works.
Do you ever get concerned about the effect on your business if you lost one or two of your clients in quick succession?
Yes, I've had it happen, and it is scary, and it's. I think for me, because I come from a marketing and new business sales focused background, that's always on. So I'm never too worried. Obviously, what we're trying to do is grow. But sometimes what happens is you lose a client and the thing that you thought was going to help you grow is just going to come and replace. So I think because I've got, what we do for our clients is how we help them generate leads. We're doing that all the time for ourselves. I know how to do that better than anyone. So we've always got a strong pipeline. So I'm never that worried. But there have been times where I have been recently.
I want to buy you a glass of wine or something at some point, because I am dreadful at projecting myself and telling the world that we exist. And I find it really genuinely hard to open doors. We've got a fabulous CV, but I can't tell people about it. I can't get to them. That's the thing.
And I think that's one of the kind of foundational things that I say. If you're not there, how are they going to find you?
Yeah.
If you don't show up,
Yeah.
if you don't say it, if you don't self-promote, if you don't shout about what you do, how you help people, how is anyone going to know? No one's just going to randomly come knocking anymore.
No.
The way people buy has changed. They go to their network. They ask people for recommendations. They go to LinkedIn to look, to find, the services and the people that they need to work with. So if you're not there, you're not going to get found.
Yeah. I think that's something that I've taken on board from seeing your postings on LinkedIn, which proves that it's working for you, actually, as well, because I see it. How do you deal with negativity when you have a bad day and something's gone wrong?
Have a glass of wine. Probably, actually, that is true. No, what do? I'll go for a walk. I think that's a really good, getting out of your head. When something's really stressful, it's really easy. I will often try and fix something. I'm like, oh, I need to do this. I'm such a solver. We were having a few problems recently in terms of contracts not signing as quickly as they were and people moving away. So I was like, God, I thought we had 2 or 3 contracts that were going to sign in June, July that didn't. So I was like, fine, we're going to build our own thing that people will come to rather than waiting for the contracts to sign. And then, of course, all the contracts signed anyway. Now we've got this big other project that we're doing as well. But I think I will instantly come up with a solution, but also sometimes the best thing to do is to go for a walk, go and do some yoga, just give yourself some space to think about what's happened. Because I think when I was younger, I would quickly go to solve the problem without having thought things through, whereas now I'll still go and solve the problem, but I'll give myself time first before I act quite so quickly.
When somebody upsets me or really annoys me and I want to have a real go at them, do you know what? I write an email and I never send it.
Don't send it yet. That's also a great thing to do.
The trouble is, I always think there's that risk I'm going to hit send.
Yeah,
but I still do it.
Write it in your notes instead.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good idea, actually. If you were going to write a book, what would you call it?
Fuck my life. I don't know. I think something probably about being human. There's lots of things that I could write about. Overcoming adversity, hardship. But I think maybe it would be around the importance of keeping on. I think that for me has been the key to success, if you can call where I am success. But the reason that I am here is it's purely, I don't know if I can't think of the right word, grit and determination. So I think for me,
streetwise. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Being streetwise and just keeping on. People don't talk about that enough. It's quite basic, but just consistency and continuing to get back up and be motivated when things are shit is not easy.
No.
And I think that, for me, is probably the most important thing that's kind of got me here today.
You are already a success, regardless of business. You brought up a daughter, well educated and a very pleasant, young human. So that makes you a success, Katie.
Yes, true. And that's so true, isn't it? We forget that sometimes. It's a success that I can sit here, I can feed her, I can, do all the things that I can do. And I have the freedom to choose. I can go on holiday. I can pick her up from school when I want. That is success.
Yeah. What kind of boss are you?
Oh, God, you'd have to ask the team.
I'm asking you.
What kind of boss am I? Sometimes I'm a bit short-tempered, I would say. I think I have I think everyone gets, I think everyone's in my head. I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD. And I think sometimes I'm like, how do you not understand what we're doing? So sometimes I can probably be quite short-tempered. I don't know if that's the right word for it. It's not short-tempered. It's more like, come on, we know this now. Let's do it. But hopefully inspiring, motivational, uplifting at the same time. So yeah, I think, we've got a lovely culture at Street. We've got some really great people, but everyone knows, that they're responsible for what they're doing. And I'm quite I'm not, as much as I'm a people person, I probably don't care about the culture as much as I should, because I'm quite a task orientated person. I like to do the doing.
Okay.
But that's why I have a team of people that are more person centered than I am.
So you see, you can delegate it.
Exactly. There are some things like that I do, but I still love to be part of it. We do fun stuff. We have strategy days every quarter. We go and do things that push us out of our comfort zone. We're all going to learn paddle together
really? Yeah.
on Wednesday next week. So I try and make it fun. I think hopefully I'm a fun boss, but that sometimes can be a bit straight down the line.
Here's a tip for you. Try fling golf as a team. Have you heard of that?
No, I don't know what that is.
I haven't got time in the podcast, but
Tell me after.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Everyone can Google that.
Yeah, Paul Barron will thank me for that. Fling golf. Let's talk about your podcast very briefly. We're down to the last 3 or 4 minutes here.
Oh, amazing. Good, because it's heating up in here.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to wave myself.
It's 28 degrees outside, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
sorry
your
if I'm-
podcast then, again, we'll keep it short, but how is it going and do you enjoy it?
I love doing the podcast. I get to meet such amazing people, and it's been an interesting journey. The podcast itself doesn't probably get the attention it deserves, but we're focusing in on that at the moment.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It is. It's really, we've been going for a couple of years now, but we've got some great partnerships. So we partner with Shop Talk, which is one of the largest retail tech shows in the world, and we've been in Barcelona. We're going to Abu Dhabi, where we interview CTOs, chief digital officers, chief technical officers, chief marketing officers for some of the world's biggest retail brands. So that's amazing. We're doing the same for the retail tech show in London next March. So I'm now the official podcast for them too, which is great. And it's great because, we cover quite a wide spectrum of marketing, but I get to speak to people that inspire me, that I actually learn from.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's what's important. It's about having real conversations that, hopefully are fun to listen to. But if I'm learning from it, I know my audience are learning from it. So we try to cover quite a wide spectrum of subjects, which does make it quite diverse, but it's very niche in the marketing world.
Channel 5 have developed an interest in young Katie, haven't they? Tell me about that. Tell me what you can.
I'm not sure I can say anything yet. It's a reality TV show. They found me through my content, which was interesting. So I didn't apply to go on the show. It is a show that has been on before, but it's a new format. I did it with my daughter.
Brilliant.
So it will be, it's a bit of fun. It's one episode. It will be a bit of fun. And do you know what? Same rules apply. Like when they approached me, I was like, oh, is that for me? But actually the story that I hope that they'll play through is around kind of female entrepreneurship. And I'm just a yes person. The people that produce that show, the people that see that show, you never know what opportunities may come of, what you do. So I just said yes. We had a great time doing it. It was fun. And I can't tell you too much more at this stage, but
that's fine.
Keep an eye on Channel 5.
Yeah, Channel 5. Any ideas when it's going to air?
We don't know yet, either this year or later. So it'll either be late 2025 or early 2026, and it'll be on, I can tell you this, at around about 9 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Too much swearing, eh?
Yes, it's after 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's after 9 o'clock on a Sunday night on Channel 5.
All right. I've got about 3 more pages of questions. We haven't got time to ask them all.
We've done a lot. That was a good one.
Yeah. I've loved having you on. It's been really, really nice. How have you felt?
Yeah, same. Been really enjoyable. It's nice to be the one being interviewed rather than the interviewer for a change. So thank you.
My pleasure. Well, thanks very much to Katie for coming in. It's been great fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd love to get Katie back someday, and I'll ask the second half of those questions. I'll be back soon, so see you then.